This is the game Fort Apocalypse for the Commodore 64, released by Synapse software in 1982. This is the cassette version, and this is a new old stock. This has been sealed off for almost 40 years. And I'm wondering, can I still play this, load this from my data set for the Commodore 64? Let's find out today. This is 5 minutes of retro. In Europe, where I come from, cassette releases for the Commodore 64 were very common. The disk drives and floppies were very expensive here, so most of us had cassette games for the Commodore 64. And this comes with the Nova Load IC, which is a fast loader for cassette. And that makes it possible to have a loading screen and music while the game loads. So let's unwrap this thing for the first time in 40 years. It was always a good sound, the sound of cellophane breaking when you unwrapped a game back in the day. Today it means that the value of this cassette has diminished by doing so, but all for the sake of having good content, right? Interestingly enough, the price sticker was put on before the cellophane wrapping. And inside we have the cassette only. Not surprised, I've seen this before in these plastic shells. US Gold never put anything but the cassette, so that's okay. Let's check out the setup we're going to use to load this. And I have a little corner here of a couple of Commodore machines, etc. Let's go through what it is. A standard Commodore 64 machine, of course. And we have a Commodore data set, but this has been modded with a VU meter so I can monitor the signal level. And to make everything time period correct, I'm going to use the Commodore monitor model 1701 to play this thing hopefully at the end. So I'll slide the cassette in, reset the counter, press shift and run stop on the C64, press play on tape, and I'm going to time how long it takes to load the game. Hopefully it'll find it as well, and it did. So let's start the timer here. So I've sped up the time here for the sake of the video, but it takes approximately 1 minute and 39 seconds for the Nova Load to fast load the cassette here. That's actually quite decent, as many other games took about 5 minutes to load for the Commodore 64. And here are the sirens screaming for Fort Apocalypse, loaded for the first time from this cassette like ever. And my skills are not what they used to be, unfortunately, but I'll show you a little bit of the gameplay here. You'll have to fuel up your chopper, your helicopter. And this was basically a more advanced version of Choplifter from the competitive company, Brother Bund. So you're going to guide this helicopter through a maze of different things, traps, etc. to rescue soldiers. And you can drop bombs, you can fire your machine gun, I guess, and destroy tanks, etc. And you have to bomb your way through the mazes below to get to the actual core of it all and bomb that, and you're through. And this game was incredibly hard back in the day. It's still hard. I'm only touching the surface here in terms of skills and levels. These days, I'm definitely just a casual gamer, and I just play for nostalgia and for a little bit of fun, not to set any records or spend hours playing these games today. But I love it. I love the sound of it, and this was actually one of my top favorite games back in the day for the Commodore 64. And now it's time to die. Yeah, well. But I am happy to report that this game loaded fine for the first time. Thank you for watching. I'm Espen Croft, and this is 5 Minutes of Retro. See you next time. Cheers.